All right, guys, welcome back to the Godhood Comics podcast, the God Hoodlum. I am your host, comic book writer, creator, publisher, and owner of Godhood Comics, Tyler Martin. All right, we are back with another episode today, a very special episode, and it's on Kickstarter. Now, we have gotten lots of emails and DMs asking about Kickstarter from new creators, old creators, standing creators. How can we break into Kickstarter? How can I reach my goal on Kickstarter, get my comic book funded on Kickstarter? This is the number one question that I have always gotten is on Kickstarter. It's like, it's about Kickstarter. How can they do this on Kickstarter? Everybody wants to get on Kickstarter. So this video is going to talk about the do's and don'ts of a Kickstarter campaign and how your Kickstarter can be successful. And then we're going to talk about why it hasn't been. It's very, very easy, but we appreciate you all for coming back here. Oh, so sorry for the delay in the episode, guys. Speaking of Kickstarter, we had an amazing Kickstarter last year. We raised about $26,000 for issues 4, 5, and 6 of The Antagonist, and they came back and listen. These babies are beautiful. As you can see, this is issue number 4. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Issue number 5 and issue number 6. And we've been shipping for the past 2 weeks, so that's why we haven't been able to upload another video, but we're back, still shipping, but we're back, and we're going to make sure that we upload these videos regularly. All right, so let's get into it. So for those of you who don't know, let's talk about what Kickstarter is. All right, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform and website that allows creators of all calibers from all industries to go on, present their products, and receive funding from supporters, aka backers. Right now, you ask why, how would your project receive backers? Well, what are backers? Backers are your supporters who come to Kickstarter, pledge a specific amount of money for a specific reward in order to help your project get funded. What's a reward? I'll tell you. A reward is something that your backers get that is super exclusive to this Kickstarter campaign. It could be posters, variant covers, stickers, t-shirts, tote bags. I mean, you name it, as long as it's in the budget, your backers get these rewards. And it's pretty exciting. And a lot of people love exclusivity. And that's what Kickstarter and other crowdfunding sites are able to offer your core fan base. You know, I get this a lot, is when I should start my Kickstarter. And my answer is, you're not ready. About 95% of you right now watching this are not ready to launch your Kickstarter. That's the reality. Kickstarter is a formula. It's a mathematic formula that if you follow the formula, which I'm going to show you tonight, if you follow the formula, you'll be successful. If you don't follow the formula, you won't be successful. I have had tons of mentees who I instructed on doing, they had failed Kickstarters. They linked up with me and we got them going on their way and they were successful. So it's kind of like 2 + 2 = 4. There's no other way to get 4. As far as addition, there's no other way to get 4. 2 + 2 = 4. Keep it like that. That's what Kickstarter is. It's a formula. All right. So the first thing you need to know is there's no point in launching a Kickstarter if no one knows you, what you're launching, and why you're launching it. We talk about all the time building your fan base, building your support system. And let me tell you, it's not going to be your family or your friends. Less than 1% of Kickstarter successes come from close family and friends. Get out of thinking that. Also, ask yourself, why do you need a Kickstarter? Why do you need a Kickstarter right now? Your first book, your first comic book, your first few projects should be completely funded out of your own pocket. That's when you know you have something, when you have sacrificed your own money to put into it. So before you're asking for other people's money, make sure you've sacrificed your own. That's number one, I think. That will be number one for me. Then number two would be making sure you have built that fan base and your following. Your following is super important. These are the guys that have seen your work online. This goes back to all of our videos tie in together because we talk about building that social media platform, that online presence. So people have followed you across multiple social platforms, and now they know that you are launching this Kickstarter, and they're going to be right there to support you on day one. If you have less than 500 followers across your platforms, do not do a Kickstarter. Less than 500 followers across your platforms, do not do a Kickstarter. And that's me being very, very lenient. Because I'd really say if you have less than 5,000 followers across your social media platforms, you should not be doing a Kickstarter. All right. The next thing is avoid doing low Kickstarters, right? You have people who are on, they'll launch a project and they're asked for $500 or $1,000. You could have borrowed that from family and friends. Hell, ask me for that. We'll give you that. Okay. Kickstarter is a platform that lets your backers know you need them and you need them now. If I see a project that has their a goal to $500, in my opinion, you don't need it. You don't need me to help because $500, if you need $500, you don't need $500 as far as making a project. There's no comic book that's going to cost you $500. So right then that tells me this creator is not serious about this Kickstarter and he's not serious about his project because there's no project you can get done for $500. And if you are, we always talk about quality. If you can get a comic book done for $500, I can guarantee you the quality of it is not going to get you funded anyway. All right, so make sure you're setting your goals reasonably according to the budget. Guys, budgeting is super, super important when it comes to Kickstarter, right? You need to know how much it's going to cost to get your pencils done, your inks, your colors, your lettering, your publication, your printing, promo, right? Pinups, advertising, and more importantly, your rewards. So we'll talk about rewards a little bit later because the rewards, there's an amazing secret to rewards. So budgeting, extremely important. Make sure you're budgeting properly for your Kickstarter because it'll come back and bite you in the butt. We had two Kickstarters. I had two failed Kickstarters when I first started. Didn't know anything about the business of creating comic books. And, we had a little bit of a following, but it wasn't until our third Kickstarter that we really, really, really hit our goal. Then our fourth and fifth one where we just shot straight past that goal. Remember, a Kickstarter is for exclusivity. You're offering your fans and supporters a chance to get in on this while it's hot before anybody else. That's what Kickstarter is. It's crowdfunding and it's excitement for your fans to get in it on your project early. Right? Kickstarter is not a platform used. One of the things we always talk about is the undervaluation of independent comics. Our community is struggling. Our creators are struggling financially because they have undervalued their IP. And we saw a tweet today that really broke my heart. Really, 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 really broke my heart. I'm going to share that tweet with you. All right, check this out. So this guy says, comic creators, once you finish a Kickstarter, do you sell your comics for a lower price? Is that fair to Kickstarter backers? Inquiring minds want to know. Our response to this was, this is why indie comics appear to be doomed. Lack of business knowledge. What other industries lower their price for their products after a pre-order campaign? Most increase. When we said that, when I said that, I meant that look at clothing, jewelry, music, every other industry will launch an amazing pre-order campaign, get their support and their community, get it funded, do big numbers, and then when this thing hits market, that exclusivity is over. So it's going to be regular price or higher. Prices increase, right? Supply and demand. The big thing I see with the indie comic community is just a lack of business knowledge, like a lack of economics 101. And that's why they're struggling and suffering financially. And I don't know this guy, and I'm sure he's an amazing creator, but I just get completely heartbroken and frankly upset when I see comic book creators, new or old, who just don't understand the economics of business and supply and demand and how these things work. So knowing the value of your IP and your budget on Kickstarter is going to definitely help you in the long run. All right, so earlier we talked about that there is a formula to Kickstarter, and we're going to show you this formula right now. All right, so this is our last Kickstarter campaign, the Antagonist issues 4 through 6, of which we 393 backers gave us $26,389, and it was an amazing campaign. Can't wait to our next one. You guys really showed out for this one, so if you back this campaign, you will not regret it. Like I said, I showed you the books earlier. They look amazing. Rewards are coming in, and we've been shipping for about 2 weeks now, so stay tuned, okay? Now, earlier I said there is a method to the madness of Kickstarter, and we're going to talk about that right now. We're looking at it live right now. And this is it right here. Your Kickstarter page should tell you the what, when, why, where, and how of your comic book project. This page has to be so pretty. This page has to be decorated so pretty. I wish I could show you some pages of some failed campaigns, but I haven't got the permission from those creators. I'll try to get the permission from those creators. And you go to their page, Kickstarter campaign page, and it's short. There's nothing there, no information, and they wonder why they didn't get funded. Well, because a person wants to go to, a backer, a supporter, wants to go to your Kickstarter campaign, and they want to see you care about this project more than them. Your campaign page is going to tell you how much you really care for your project and how much work you really put into it. And I want you to notice how much imagery is here, how much work we put in to the campaign. Kickstarter is 100% of you get what you put in. However much money you invested, you will get that back or more, or you won't get anything at all. You can tell that we put a lot of work into this page. And so backers feel that. They're reading all of this stuff. What's it about? What they missed. They're reading all this stuff. You know, you have comic book mock-ups. There are guys that do comic book mock-ups, right? So it just makes you see, dang, this is what I'm getting. And it looks just like the comic book that I just showed you. And then you got your pages. You should not be doing a Kickstarter campaign unless you have at least 6 fully completed pages of your comic book. At least 6, I'll say that again, at least 6 fully completed pages of your comic book. That's when you're ready for a Kickstarter, albeit that you've also followed the other guidelines as far as following and supporters and fan base. Fully completed pages meaning pencils, inks, letters. They should be completely done. Now, I'm at the level now, and a couple of my other colleagues, we've been doing this for a while, where we won't be doing any other Kickstarter until we have the book in hand, and it's just more easier when you've already got the book printed. And so I recommend that to anybody. But we understand coming into this and needing the money to get the book done. So invest in the first 6 pages of your comic book. That's going to make or break your Kickstarter campaign. So please, please, please make sure you have what your backers want to see. Nobody wants to come up here and not see any pages of the book you're asking them to give you money for. We want to see what the book is going to look like, the feel of it, the characters. All right, so this just drew a lot of people in, and why wouldn't it? So I think we had like 10 pages. Then we're talking about the characters. We want to know about the characters. We want to know all about the characters, who they are, why they are, right? And what news do you have? For us, the Antagonist comic book series, we're developing that into a television series. So we wanted our fans and supporters to know that. Any amazing reviews that you might have, feedback. Beautiful. Oh, reviews. Oh, God, reviews, guys. Post them if you got them. All right. Now, this is important. We're going to talk about rewards now. Your rewards are extremely important. Guys, remember, Kickstarter is exclusivity. So, how do you price your reward system? Okay. So, your $5 reward tier, there should be no physical copies. If you're giving a physical copy for $5, you have shot yourself in the foot. All right. That $5 tier is just going to be a digital download. And really, that $20 tier should be a digital download. Remember, Kickstarter is all for exclusivity. So let's say a $10 comic book is going to go on sale. It'll cost you $10. It's going to cost you $3 to print per copy. You're going to sell that on the regular market when your book comes out. On your website or wherever you plan to sell it, you'll sell that for $10, right? Now, your Kickstarter backers, because they're coming here first and they're wanting the exclusives, they wanting to get the book done, you're going to sell that copy to them for $20. So that book has doubled due to the exclusivity of Kickstarter. All right. Keep in mind the rewards. All right. And if you're adding T-shirts, we are taking out of T-shirts. We had too much trouble with T-shirts and clothes. Our last couple of campaigns, we'll probably add them back in the future with higher tiers. But for new beginners, stay away from T-shirts and clothing. They're going to shoot you in the foot. They're so hard to ship out and fulfill if it's just yourself, and you don't have a fulfillment team. It's very, very hard because you are kind of coordinating with the printing T-shirt company to ship those things to different addresses, and it can be a hassle if you don't understand fulfillment. We didn't at the time, we do now. So I would always say, listen, keep the clothes out of the thing. All right, but anyways, Kickstarter backers want to see what their money is getting on. So always visualize your rewards. How much and for what? And so that's what we have here. Every campaign that I see that has these has been successful. Every campaign that I see that doesn't have these has been unsuccessful. Completely unsuccessful. All right. So there's all the rewards. You go down. All right. And let's talk about the funds. Where's the money going? People want to know. Production, publication, distribution, promotion, and fulfillment. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be a algebra layout, financial, economic detail. Keep it simple, straight to the point. People know this stuff costs money. And if they're supporting you, they already know this stuff costs money because that's why you're here. All right. Risk and challenges. Make sure these are very personable and they're honest and they're true. And this is your plea to your supporters and your community. All right. Now, more important than our Kickstarter is when you're going to launch your own Kickstarter campaign, the most important thing to do is to look at these campaigns that were super successful. And then structure your Kickstarter campaign like these people have. All right. So we're all familiar with Stranger Comics. Sebastian Jones is a good friend of mine, good colleague, respected in the community. And this campaign he did raised $127,000 with 949 backers. So I say to myself, if I'm a new creator, I'm going to say, this looks amazing. I want $127,000. I need to figure out what this guy did. All right. And let's go to campaign. And this is someone who look at the work that has gone into this Kickstarter campaign. Untouchable. You can go back here, guys. It's all on Kickstarter. Stranger Comics on Kickstarter. Look at this. It's called work. It's called work. I've seen so many Kickstarter campaigns that have gone unsuccessfully because they don't have any detail. You don't know what you're paying for. And for Seb, this just goes on and on and on. I mean, he actually killed this campaign. He kills all his campaigns, and every one of his campaigns literally just keep going up, keep going up, keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. Because he has his supporters locked down when it comes to information across all his social media platforms and his emailing list, which is what we do as well. But Seb has mastered this stuff, and he's one of the guys in the community that I really look up to, because he is business meets comic book creating, and he just knows what the hell he's doing. Shout out to Seb. There he is right there. All right, so that's that. Again, making sure you aren't setting your goal too low. Your goal for creating a comic book should not be $500 or $1,000. You shot yourself in the foot. No one's going to take it seriously outside of your family and your friends, because there's no supporters. So your 9 times out of 10, your Kickstarter supporters have supported other indie communities, and they know how much it costs to make a comic book, and it certainly doesn't cost $500. And also be aware that you're not setting your goal too high, right? So if I see a guy, this is his first Kickstarter, he's asking for $20,000, no way. No way. Go back to your budget. I'm not going to help you. All right. It's greedy, and it's giving, you guys don't know what's going on. I'm going to try to get over on you. All right. So just make sure you're setting your budget appropriately. Now, I am all for the creator getting paid. When I set my Kickstarter budget, I have my own pay in that. I hate the undervalue of the indie community. And I've seen all online before, which I completely disagree with. And I think it's completely insane that there are creators out there that say they don't pay themselves, and that you shouldn't use Kickstarter to pay yourself. That is insane. And if you are using that logic, you are going to be unsuccessful, and you're going to be starving. And it's crazy. I always include in every Kickstarter campaign that we ever have done a budget to pay myself, because I'm the one that created this powerful, amazing IP. I'm the one that have commissioned creators and artists and pinups, and I can put this 2-month work into this campaign before I launched it. I'm going to get myself paid. All right. So always put that in your budget. Pay yourself first. There are millionaires and billionaires that will say, pay yourself first. I despise the egregious humility of the independent comic community, because it's lackluster. In no other industry of creators is the creator put on the back burner other than independent comics. And again, that's just the undervaluation of their IP. They don't think it's good enough. They don't think they're good enough. But I'm telling you, if you had a successful Kickstarter campaign at any point, you are good enough. So make sure you include that into your budget. Guys, I'm going to keep this video very, very short because there's a lot we can get into about Kickstarter, but I would rather you guys ask me questions in the comments that I can answer or request more videos on the topic at hand, because Kickstarter is a very, very strategic type of campaign, and you have to know what you're doing. And I always say, ask around. Go to Kickstarter, look at the comic books who have done the most, and reach out to those creators. It's a huge community, but it's also a small one. 9 times out of 10, someone knows someone that you need to know. So ask your questions. Ask, DM, email, ask. Now, before you launch your Kickstarter campaign, you need to make sure you have done months of building that campaign page. A minimum of 30 days is going to take to build that campaign page. And that's because you spent another 30 days commissioning all the artwork and getting all the artwork done. Okay. You'll know when you're ready for your Kickstarter. A lot of guys launch Kickstarters and they know they're not ready, and they're desperate. They're desperate, and we understand it. They want to get this done. They need the money, and they hope it's going to be fast and easy, and it's not. And 30 days later, they see that it wasn't. Hey guys, if you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. But also, hey, if you know someone who wants to see this content, who needs to see this content, please share the link to our YouTube channel and bless another creator today.